Yeah, I'm Michael Kleinigger from the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. So what we have here is, we call it the MOT-V, which is the Medium Object Transport Vehicle. And essentially it's a scaled down version of the Human Object Transport Vehicle, which was on display at the keynote NIWeek 2006. And it's also very close to Dean Kamen's Segway. So what we have here is a pair of sensors, an accelerometer and a gyroscope. The accelerometer is 2 axes, so based on those 2 axes you can sense your angle with respect to gravity. And so based on those 2 sensors, which are analog inputs to the compact Rio module, the Rio then runs a state space controller which allows us to determine the necessary inputs to the motors. The compact Rio also has a pair of motor control modules on it, which actually drive the motors on the device itself. In addition to that, we have 2 optical encoders, one for each of the motors, and that gives us position and wheel speed information. So in this case, the control system is constantly trying to bring all states to 0. So you want your angle to be perfectly vertical, which is 0. You want your angular acceleration to be 0, and you want your wheel speed to be 0. So as you push it, you'll see that it'll fight that motion and it'll attempt to stop itself. Now, that's very different from the Segway, which when you try and lean on it, it maintains a constant forward velocity. And so then the second device that you see over here, so that operates in very much the same way, and in fact, the circuit board that you see is identical. 2-axis accelerometer and a rate gyro, and the only difference is that it's balancing on just one wheel. And so the wheel down there is a hub motor. All of the DC components are housed inside that aluminum housing there. It's got a gear reduction as well. I believe about 250 watt hub motor. Also running on the compact Rio, but this one does not have any encoder inputs, so we don't monitor wheel speed or wheel position, because in this case, since you're riding it, you don't care about bringing your wheel velocity down to 0. And in fact, you wouldn't want to do that, because whenever you lean forward, it would try and stop you from going forward. But with those training wheels on, you can ride it up and down the halls. Without the training wheels, you would need very good balance, but it's possible. It does do a good job balancing you forward and backward, but there's no method of actuating it from side to side.